Now, when I build stuff, again, I don't build these shelters all the time. In fact, I think the last time I built a lean-to was 15 years ago. It's not something I do frequently because you have to take down some trees when you do it. However, when you do it, work smart. I mean, don't work any harder than you have to. And what I mean by that is, you can see I'm doing a running hitch on these lodge poles, and that's going to be sufficient. All I need to do is keep them from going side to side. And that running hitch, I think, is enough for that. Now, like I said, as you build more, or if you're in a long-term survival situation, or if you just want to be Jeremiah Johnson going out in the woods, you'll improve your technique. You'll figure out, hey, like I said earlier, that worked, or, you know, I had some shifting of my lodge poles, I need to do a better knot. In which case, you do a better knot. But generally speaking, this will be fine, I think. Especially for the duration I'm thinking the shelter will serve. Now, I normally don't take a big old wind or a 550 cord like this. I will take a hank of it though. So it's realistic that I have 550 cord on me, because I pretty much don't go out without it. We don't need to lash these poles, by the way. You could do it without the poles. Without lashing it. And they would maybe shift a little bit. When you put more weight on it, it would set them so they wouldn't slide side to side. But I like quality construction. Again, striking that balance of utility and not going overboard with your construction techniques. Because it's time and it's calories. I've said that in my reviews ever since I started the Nutnfancy project too. And that's something I take away from military survival training, is that you need to determine if you have the calories to do a certain task. Sometimes you won't. And in which case, you're going to have to simplify your task to get done what you need to get done. Also, like I said, with the knee pads, sitting pads and stuff, we never sit in snow. We never get any colder or wetter than we have to. Because you can't just go in the house and change clothes up here. When it's wet, like my gloves are now wet, you can see, they have to be dried out by a fire. I don't know if I'll get to that today, but we'll eventually, trust me. I'm liking how this is turning out. I think it's going to be a great shelter. And I'll put some sides on it right here. I'll build a drying rack over on the right-hand side. I like it. By the way, I would have liked to orientate this the other way, that way. That's east, and the sun rises in the east. I would prefer to have my door opening to the east. However, because of how the boughs of the trees are in this vicinity, the best compromise that I can come up with is what I got here. Okay, so that's my running hitch on my pole, so you can see it locks them in sufficiently good. And I'll build some cross members right here. Okay, I don't know if you remember, I talked about the slab micarta handles on survival knives. And they're fine, but I like it when they're removable. Here's why. Here I'm using this RTAC2 in the snowy woods in the Rocky Mountains. Been out here for about 3 hours working hard. And there's going to be moisture that gets under those slab handles. And with a 1095 steel blade, which by the way I'm spraying with WD-40 to help preserve it from getting rusted. Actually, I was looking on that blade, seeing if it's rusting already. They will rust really quick, that exposed edge. So keep it lubricated. But it's nice to be able to take those handles off. I gotta do a tabletop review of this RTAC2. It's such a great blade. High value, man, it's just awesome. I love this knife. But have those removable handles, it's really beneficial. Alright, it's coming together. Looking good. Let's go check the temperature. Snow continues to fall. Not that cold. About 18 degrees. Alright, there's the cross members up on the lean-to. Time to start thatching our roof. I like the angle on that. It's just right. Got a couple cross members. You're going to have to really thatch it deep and thick to make it water resistant. Or another way you could do it is split and peel bark and put in halves of bark over it, kind of as shingles. That's a lot of work. I'm not going to do that now, but you could do it. Darkness has fallen. Let's start thatching. Fire later. We'll get a nice fire built in. All right. Now we're just doing our imitation of a bird building a nest. We're thatching our greenery on the back side of this. Now, when I do this, I'm not too concerned about how it looks, and I will intertwine some of the limbs within each other to give it more structural strength. Just so as the wind picks up, these limbs aren't going to be blown out or anything. And trust me, it takes a lot of limbs to thatch a roof on a lean-to. The denser your thatch, the more wind and water resistant it will be. Now, it's not going to be like your house if you use just the boughs of trees, which I'm using here. I would have to integrate planks of bark to give it more waterproofness. As time allowed, I would do this. Maybe I'll do this later. But for an initial shelter to protect against current conditions, which is falling snow, it'll be quite effective. And then once snow does cover it, it'll actually give it even more rigidity. Maybe a little weight. You might have to watch the weight issue so it doesn't sag it down. But this is very cold snow. It's very powdery. Therefore, it won't weigh it down too much. Thatch, thatch, thatch. That's what we're doing. Yeah. All right, sure enough, darkness has fallen, or pretty close to it. The image is going to be a little bit grainier. That's just the way the camera does it. Allie just got a snack. I give her small cans of dog food. She usually eats dried dog food, but in this environment, she needs high calories, as do I. I just power down a Cliff Bar and trying to keep the energy level higher. My work gloves are totally wet and they're frozen solid now, so I transitioned to the fleece gloves. Got to keep the hands warm, and they were frigid. About 18 degrees now Fahrenheit. Hey, the lean-to is coming together. I think I'm just going to press on. Hopefully I'll be able to film as darkness falls, and hopefully be able to make a fire. I won't really be able to film too much of fire making though, because the quality of the video will be just so bad. However, I'm happy with the lean-to as it's coming along. Not done quite yet. Still working on it. But I need to film it before it gets too dark. Well, Allie's shivering a little bit. You can see a chill setting in on her. We could build a fire, but my batteries are dying too. So, continue construction on the Wilderness lean-to. Right now it's 15 degrees. Got the Fenix L2D up there. What a great lantern that is. I'll do a separate tabletop. I know, I need to get around to that. We're going to pick it up in a part 2 probably, because there's a lot of other things I want to do at the campsite. We're going to build a fire reflector down here, and we're going to finish the sides of the lean-to. It's not focusing too well because that bright LTD. And we'll continue to thatch the roof. The roof is pretty much done. You can see the structures. I want to build a drying rack over on this side right here. That'll work out nice. And we're going to just keep projecting on this site. So that's end of part 1, Wilderness lean-to by Nutnfancy. Thanks for tuning in. Well, I guess it's time to hike on out. We'll come back. I'd actually spend the night here and finish it, but I got to go to work tomorrow. Adios. Thanks for the support. We'll see you soon. Don't worry, girl. We're going to start hiking now. Trekking out at night. Normally I'd have this light off. You don't need light to hike, but I can't film without it. Where'd Darkness go? She's blazing the trail up ahead. Well, there ain't nobody out here now. Let me take this light on. Oh yeah. Beautiful night.
dog. Hey, what are you doing? Come here. You're going the wrong way, dummy.
Alright, we'll see you in part 2, guys.
Just wanted to add that real quick. Oh, what a nice night. What a nice night.